was only aiming for 13 million in sales, and we ended that year with 50 million. That was a big achievement for us kasi everyone didn't believe what I was saying and everyone was doubting. I think giving up is always a thought that will always be there. The way I handle it is you just don't have to entertain it.
What was the one advice you'd like to give to your past self?
My advice would be
Hey there, welcome to our Behind the Counter, the show that takes you in an in-depth exploration of the mind and heart of our Pinoy business owners. I'm Chester, your host for today, as we get up close and personal with some of our favorite business owners here in the Philippines. So, ano pa inaantay natin? Let's go! Today, we're speaking to the mastermind behind Candid Coffee, Sir Lance Castillo. From its one-of-a-kind flavor to its funny and witty branding, Candid Coffee has become a favorite in the Pinoy coffee scene. Alright, so Sir Lance, kamusta po sila, sir? Magandang umaga po sa kanila.
Morning, Chester. I'm good, thank you.
When you first started po, what was like getting your initial customers? Were there any specific strategies or tactics you did well that worked well? Aside, sir, yung kanina na sinabi mo na you talk to them, you give them stories, what other things that you specifically employed po in getting your first customers with you?
I think the number one is really the storytelling part. I think it's ingrained in all of us. No, when you meet your friends, anong unang tatanong mo, di ba? Anong kwento mo? So it's all about the stories because people love stories. And the second thing, I guess, would be questions, asking the right questions. So we have actually protocols in place na on how to do this, getting to know our customers. Kasi people like talking about themselves, it makes them feel better. So we don't want a one-way transaction. It's actually not a transaction. I always tell the team na we have to build relations, not just transactional things na magbebentahan lang kita or magpupush lang ako ng sale. It's also getting to know the other side. So I think by applying that, we get to develop loyalty and rapport with our customers. Like it's a first name basis. People know, our staff know the regulars. It really helps in establishing those long-term relations.
Coffee is let's say it, we might say that it's an intimidating hobby for many. So how did Candid Coffee make coffee more accessible to people po, sir?
Okay, so before getting into coffee, I was very, ano ba, how do I describe? Parang annoyed at yung mga coffee snobs and hipsters. Parang ang arte kasi. Parang ang dami nang sinasabi, ang daming kaartehan. So I was very intimidated and parang annoyed at them. But when I got into coffee and then natutunan ko siya, I learned about why it's interesting, it's very scientific, but also geeky. Nagets ko na, okay, that's why pala it's very fun. So when I was doing my business, parang sabi ko, I wanted to make coffee more approachable and less intimidating. One of the things, so when I say accessibility, apart from price point na affordable siya, it's the trying to eliminate that problem of looking too snobbish rin, or parang sounding too um, intimidating. So that's why if you read our covers, our descriptions, it's very straightforward. Minsan nga nakakagago kasi it's it makes people relate better, no, and you understand it more. And actually that's also my filtering medium na malalaman ko, okay, are you a coffee enthusiast or may interested ka ba sa coffee? Kasi kung hindi, we're not gonna talk about coffee. We're gonna talk about something else. So very important siya for me to kind of filter and understand my consumer more. It's also a nice point of conversation. It's a conversation starter, and it elicits candid conversations. No? So that was the reason, or that's how we made it more accessible.
Isipin mo kapag yung first time na pumunta ng coffee shop minsan lalo na yung mga first timers, sabihin natin mga ano, ka-graduate lang ano, parang ano ba orderin ko? Ano ba yung kailangan nating ano ba yung masarap dito? And with your menus po is talaga naman ano nakakatuwa siya in that
Yeah.
sense.
So, yeah, I was leveraging talaga on, apart from Pinoy humor, pop culture, it's really brutal honesty. And minsan nga, too honest sometimes. So,
Candid Coffee sir or yung nag-start ka ba, is it because of like your passion, yung hilig mo ba sa kape? And ano po ba, sir?
actually, I wasn't super into coffee until siguro mga 2015. But prior to that, so mahilig ako mag-cook, mag-kitchen stuff. I was supposed to take culinary, pero hindi ako pinayagan. So I took business. But I would always be in the kitchen, cooking and hosting friends. One time, my brother bought a coffee machine for my mom. Eh, hindi naman ginagamit. So, okay yung gumamit. And then, dun ako na-addict dun sa latte art, how you make coffee. So, that was my entry or my gateway to learning about coffee and exploring its intricacies. And then, yung sa Sidcore, it actually started with a pain point. So I think any good business starts with a problem to solve. In that case, nandun kami every morning. Naghahanap yung parents ko for coffee. And walang good coffee around. So sabi ko, okay, I'll solve that problem. So I started providing coffee there every morning for 4 years straight na ako. Ngayon di na ako yung pumupunta doon eh.
Ilan na ang branches ng Candid Coffee po, all in all?
We have 6 branches right now.
Ano, sabi mo kanina that Candid Coffee started as a coffee cart. So, what made you decide on that and what is it like po ba, sir?
It's not very expensive. We don't pay rent, overhead, or anything. So it's low risk, low barrier to entry. Anyone can do it. And I was only doing it every Sunday because I had work by that time. So it was the most the end at the end of it. It's practicality. Low capital, low risk. I can bring the cart anywhere. I don't have to pay rent. So that's actually the main reason to it.
Or what's your journey like moving from a coffee cart to going for a proper and physical coffee shop po?
So when I was doing the coffee cart for a few months time, actually the first few months di talaga kumikita like mga 3 to 4 months. Pero hindi ko pinapansin siya. But anyway, later on, na-realize ko I needed to um, reduce my costs kasi one of the things I wanted to do is to make it more accessible. So meaning I have to sell relatively cheap and so I have to also reduce my costs. So I started getting into coffee roasting. And then when I was planning the business model, no, it was originally a B2B business model, meaning magro-roast ako and supply to other cafes. That way, I don't really have to put up a shop. I just had to put up one because when I was getting wholesale accounts, syempre the clients would want to see my office. I was roasting in my backyard lang sa likod ng dirty kitchen. So parang to make it more professionalized, I found a nearby space and then I took it and then naging multi-purpose area na siya. It's a cafe, it's my roastery, office, tulugan, etc. Everything is in that space. So that was my first brick and mortar space.
From that humble beginning, no sir, sabi mo kanina, nagro-roast ka lang sa likod bahay, then you have your own space. So talaga naman, if you have that passion to grow naman, it's very good enough that it will be your motivation. For this one, sir, lalo na, syempre, nag-hit yung pandemic. Coffee scene was sabihin natin, especially hit hard during those times. So, how did you cope up during those pandemic times?
Nung nagka-pandemic, actually, it was good and bad for us. We lost a lot of our wholesale accounts. Kasi my main business wasn't the shop talaga. It was really supplying other businesses. So when they had to close business or some weren't ordering anymore, we had to pivot immediately, selling directly to consumers. So more focused on direct to consumer business model. Nung time na yun, wala pa nga kaming Grab or aggregators on board. So it was really manual. And since pandemic rin, so walang lumalabas, ako lang mismo yung nasa shop operating it. Good thing though that when I was starting the coffee shop, like I was really hands-on doing everything na from opening to closing. So I knew how to operate it, and I made it in a way na kayang i-operate ng isang tao, which nung pandemic I had to do it by myself. But yeah, it was a very steep learning curve during the pandemic. It was bad that we lost a lot of wholesale, but it was also good that we saw the potential for retail and direct to consumer, and that actually tripled our business during that first year of the pandemic. So it was a blessing in disguise as well.
Now, starting a business, especially in the Philippines, takes a lot of money and investment. How did you, Sir Lance, navigate through all of the beginnings of Candid Coffee po kaya?
Initially, that's the reason why I started with a coffee cart. No? Kasi talagang it's a low capital requirement. Fortunately, I'm very frugal kasi kuripot ako. So, marami ako nasisave na pera. So, all throughout the years, I've saved enough. I started with around 100 to 150K to start my coffee cart with a very simple setup and wala pang, hindi ko alam kung may Shopee na nun. Parang wala pa. Bumibili lang ako sa Landmark, yung mga cheap places, marketplaces. And so, yun, I started with that investment. And then nung nag-open ako nung branches, actually, the branches take a lot of money. Kaya I was looking for investors to kind of execute what I wanted to do, which is open more brick and mortar shops. But since we weren't able to close investors, I decided to leverage on FNF, friends and family. But so basically, it's debt financing, meaning you loan from your friends and families with a relatively friendly interest rate, and that's how I was able to start the few branches initially.
Para sa guys sa hindi pa nakakaalam na we have yung tinatawag na Shark Tank, di ba? Now, si Sir Lance is actually have experience yung tinatawag nating the final pitch. So, Sir Lance, why did you choose to join that show and what's your experience with Final Pitch?
Okay, so during the pandemic, when I was revisiting our numbers, nakita ko na it tripled our business within less than a year. So sabi ko, okay, there's merit to this business model of selling direct to consumers. And I was building the brand na rin at that time. And naproproject ko na in a few years' time, the pandemic would have died down and we would be back outside. Kaya I was anticipating na I need to open more brick and mortar shops para maging more visible and still relevant to consumers. No? At the same time, generate more sales. So, as kanina tinanong mo ko how much it takes, no? Mahal, maraming pera. And that's the first reason that came into my mind is to join and look for investors. Kasi I watch a lot of Shark Tank and I see startup founders, how they raise money, etc. So yun naisip ko na go to the final pitch and hopefully find someone who would believe in what I was proposing. Yeah, so that was the reason why I joined. I don't know if you saw it on YouTube. Did you watch it?
Just have the yung mga gist lang, sir, yung mga highlights lang na nakita ko po sa inyo. With that, sir, ano yung pinaka, let's say, natutunan mo? Do you have any, like, let's say, learnings with that show that you joined?
Ang main learnings ko, marami actually, marami akong natutunan doon. Number one is learn how to talk in numbers. So I'm not a finance person. So I went there with zero finance knowledge. I was just, it's a very, sa akin, very basic, common understanding of numbers. That would help if you can talk in their language. Um, Second thing I learned, so this is from the other people pitching there. And yeah, yung mga other people, other founders who were there, they told me that you join these stuff, Shark Tank, Final Pitch, the Den, whatever, on Dragon's Den or whatever, shows more of a PR thing. So doon ko lang na realize, okay, so people join this not really to get investors, but more of to promote their product. So that was one of the main reasons why you join. Yun yung second learning. And last would be, actually, I was pretty prepared naman. I would like to think I was prepared. Of course, I couldn't answer some questions I couldn't answer because it was based on finance. Nga. But yeah, those are the few learnings that I got from joining the show.
Well, definitely, sir. Marami for that one. Marami po kayo na i-share, and then other people will also get an idea, especially pag market yung inyong business through those kind of shows. Now, sir, Candid Coffee is well known talaga naman for its witty and funny branding po. Whether it's on social media, yung sa mga merchants nyo, or even sa packaging po nila. What made you decide, Sir Lance, that was the branding that you wanna go for?
As I explained kanina, no, yung experience ko of being intimidated with coffee snobs. Again, it always boils down to anong problem ba am I trying to solve? So going into that angle of how do I make it more relatable? Sabi ko, I'll just be genuine and honest. Brutally honest. Kasi actually, yun rin yung personality ko. I'm very frank, straightforward, which is pretty candid, not filtered. So minsan, it also backfires na nga kasi sobrang masyado akong prangka. But I think the brutal honesty and the humor to it is very relatable. And I think anything genuine, kasi if you're fake, people can smell that. I'm very my radar for plastic and fake people is very strong. So I didn't want to be like that. So I had to be very honest. But at the same time, building the brand, no, I made it a point to also engineer the experience, engineer the humor. Kasi hindi naman talaga ako, I'm a relatively serious person. Hindi ako joke lagi. So sabi ko, okay, let's see how we can use humor to make people smile. So yun. That was the reason for the branding. Also, my dad's name is Candido. So that's also a secondary reason. Yeah.
Alright, so paying tribute pala kay daddy na rin yung second reason natin for Candid Coffee. Alright. So thank you po. Now, you're very active, Sir Lance, on social media. What are your tried and tested strategies po with that social media marketing po?
I guess always be genuine. Napansin ko if especially sa caption, well, number one, you have to have a nice picture. Pero even sa we have a few posts na hindi naman magandang picture, pero it's loaded with a story. That's very crucial. People are very nosy as well, so they like seeing the back end of what's happening, ganyan. Chismo sa mga tao eh. So that's also one. So yun, being genuine, being honest. Definitely don't use ChatGPT to make your captions because it's not going to gain anything. So again, story and relevance and being genuine. I guess those are my tips for social media marketing.
Question tayo that we asked our previous guest na Miss Jonna Lee of Happily Korean Kitchen. to ask you this question, sir. Now, what are your marketing tips and tools that you want to give to SME and startup businesses,
Your
folks?
word of mouth is the best marketing tool. In my case, when I was doing the coffee cart, malamang ako yung nagpo-push ng products ko. And I was marketing it to them through storytelling. Nakikipagkwentuhan lang ako. People love that. So, syempre, pag nakipagkwentuhan ka and then they're gonna share it to their colleague, their office mate, to their family. And it spreads like wildfire. No? Doon mo matetest out if your thing works or not. Kasi if no one talks about it, then you're probably doing something wrong. So, that's my main tip.
You provide them a story or like yung kwentuhan conversation with them. Kasi honestly speaking, lalo na if you have a good experience with the person that you're talking to or your good experience with that specific, sabihin natin, place, syempre sir, di ba, makakwento mo nga naman siya with other people to, to provide that good vibe experience para ma-share mo din yung experience na yun sa iba. Alright, thank you po. Thank you. Now, running a business has a lot of ups and downs, and I make sure a lot of our listeners can relate to that. Now, has there been a time, Sir Lance, that you thought of like, suko na lang ako, I give up na, parang wala na lang, and paano mo po yun, sir, na-overcome?
I think giving up is always a thought that will always be there. Kahit naman, minsan, last week lang, naisip ko, ayoko na, nakaka-stress eh. Pero, it's, the way I handle it is, you just don't have to entertain it. Kasi if you entertain it, then walang magandang ma-resolve doon. So, in my case kasi my journey when I was deciding na okay mag full-time na ako. Sabi ko it's a one-way ticket. I have to make this work. So, it's all in. So, it's not half-baked or second guessing. Sabi ko kailangan this should work. So that way it was 100% commitment. Sabi ko, if it doesn't work, worst case scenario, of course, I planned for the worst case. Sabi ko, magbabaris na lang ako sa Starbucks or something. So that was my backfall. Pero hindi ko iniisip rin yun. So, yeah, the thought of giving up is always going to be there. You just don't have to entertain it.
Let's say that one of the things is that we go back to our whys. So sabi mo nga kanina na it's a one-way ticket. Bakit ko ito ginawa? So knowing our whys will, let's say sir, no, na makaka-motivate sa'yo para to push you forward for your businesses naman po. What's the biggest achievement you have so far, Sir Lance? How do you get there and what's the lesson that you have learned from it?
I guess presently the biggest achievement would be proving the investors wrong dun sa final pitch. Kasi everyone didn't believe what I was saying and everyone was doubting. So sabi ko, okay, after that pitch up in my head, sabi ko, okay, I will prove you wrong. So thankfully, I was able to exceed expectations. Like I was only aiming for when I pitched, I think parang 13 million in sales, and we ended that year with 50 million. So that was a big achievement for us. That was also when we opened 4 stores within a span of 1 year, which again, I put my money where my mouth is. Sinabi ko sa kanila, I'm gonna do this, and I executed and exceeded the expectations. So I guess the lessons there for me is being number one, be proactive and determined. Like, some people are very reactive na pag nangyari to, ay magko-complain and you're a whiny little girl. So, in my case, being proactive, sucking it up and just, moving forward. Okay, how do we achieve this? Making steps to reach your goal. I think that's a very important skill or trait. And of course, a lot of sweat and prayers. Kasi you can work as much as you or as hard as you can, but if it's not backed up by your faith and trust that this is gonna result to something good. Um, it's gonna be a hard journey. So definitely those two things, hard work and of course prayers. Some people would call it luck or whatever, pero I'm very faithful to the Lord na He was helping me throughout my journey. Kasi that's an uncontrollable factor na you can't explain.
Yan, sir. So sabi mo, people doubted you a lot and sabihin natin na para pinagdudahan nila na yung business mo is hindi mag-work out. So ano ba yun, sir, na naging mga doubts nila? What are the things that they have said and how did you prove them wrong about it, sir?
When I was pitching, so most of them kasi were tech people, so they were saying like, how do you explain or justify these numbers? Actually, I was waiting for them to like ask more on how I ended up with those numbers. Sa akin, very basic understanding. One branch can generate this much. So you multiply that to four, then that's how you do it. And magkano yung aabutin ng four branches na yun? Like, X, 5, 6, 7 million. Or I think I based it on a 2.5 million per branch. And then, so if you have those branches, ito yung ininvest mo. I think, forgot the exact numbers, but I think I was raising 15 million, I think. Yeah, 15 million to open four branches in 1 year. At the end of the year, I would have a bottom line of, or I would have a top line generated sales of 13 million, and that justifies my ask na 15 million. Kasi the next year, obviously kumita ka na, you're gonna make money. So everyone was doubting, parang na it doesn't make sense. Everything doesn't make sense. Which probably from a finance standpoint, probably not nga. Pero I was confident na I was able to build traction. Just the fact that we tripled the business in less than a year is actually a very positive sign na. So what I needed to prove was, okay, this is not a fad. It's something that I can sustain, which I did. So also, I think they were not confident with brick and mortar models, mainly because everything was online. Parang that one guy was saying, you should focus on online, e-commerce, etc. Which I agree. That's a very important element. But I'm not a tech guy. Why will I go into something na wala naman akong alam about? So he was offering me, I think, a free class or masters or whatever to learn e-commerce. But in my case, a very basic, again, kung anong alam ko, yun yung gagawin ko. And I knew that brick and mortar is something that will pick up after the pandemic. And so I wanted to invest and double down on that aspect.
Ano, sir, yung naging pakiramdam natin? What's your feeling in telling everybody that they're wrong?
Actually, you would think it would be like this amazing, grand feeling. But it was just one day I was writing on my journal, and I had a sense of a lot of gratitude. And then dun ko rin na-realize na it's not about proving anyone wrong. Like it's nice. You can brag about that. You can flex that. But late when I was reflecting on it, siguro I had like a few minutes of savoring it. Parang, okay, nagawa ko na, which was great. And then, but the thought after that would be, what's next? And why am I here? So parang it goes beyond your ego na parang, okay, nagawa mo na yan, sure, whatever. So what else is there? And when I was reflecting and praying about it, parang, okay, it's not just about me. This is a company significant na, and I have a lot of people under me. So it's now transitioning to how do I steer this ship to greater heights, especially since I have people under me. So now my focus is on the people that I have, leading them better. So it kind of transcends that okay, I proved you wrong. Kasi at the end of the day, so what? No one cares about that, diba? Yeah, that was the feeling after.
From what I can see from you or from what I can hear from you, it totally shows your character po kasi. Sir, with that, other people, if we're going to think of it, other people will papalakihin nila to. You will tell social media, no, you're wrong, I've done this, I've done that. But po with you, sir, it shows your character na very humble po kayo, down to earth. Because hindi mo na siya pinalaki. And with that,
Unlike yung kangkong guy, no? Sobrang yabang. Puro yabang.
ayun nga, and then no, ito mangyayari, this is what I'll do, I'll prove you everything. Then they're not thinking what you sabihin natin na naisip, what's next for me, what's next for my company. Kasi nung sabi mo nga na pagka-reflect mo, sir, ang inisip mo agad, okay, it doesn't stop here, we need to go forward. At ayun yung ano, sir, kumbaga realization ko na natutunan ko po sa inyo. Yun. So yun, napakagandang inspiration to other people na hindi naman natin kailangan palakihin ng lahat. We can just put it sarilinin, and then we can say that we can move forward what's next for us. All right. Now, with that, sir, if you can look back years ago to when you first started your business, what was the one advice you'd like to give to your past self?
My advice would be to read more books. Kasi ako, I'm not a natural reader. Like, I hate reading books. But later on, na-realize ko, next to, may mga things in life na he cannot escape from. Math, communication, and I think the third is reading. Kasi if you don't read, you don't expand your mind. You don't learn the journeys of other people's lives. And it's just a fountain of knowledge na I would think is very valuable. At first glance, hindi mo parang reading, wala naman madadating. But it's such a valuable asset and skill set na I would have forced myself to read more books. I've relatively read, actually hindi pa nga maraming nabasa ko. Konti lang yung binasa ko, pero from the konti na amount of books that I read, it's really impacted my life a lot. So I would have told myself to read more.
Siyempre, at the end of each day, what's the hardest part in running your business into your day-to-day operations?
I think the hardest part would be handling personal or different personalities. We have almost 60 people in the team. At first, when I had 3 people, parang manageable pa. I can learn about their lives, get to know them, and juggle personalities. But when you reach a certain number, parang it gets harder. And I guess that's why people have an HR department. In our case, we're relatively still small. We don't have a very robust back-end team. But I think, the hardest thing is constantly dealing with people. Kasi iba-ibang personality and you have to adjust sa kanila. And it doesn't help that I have a short temper, kaya it's very hard for me, especially kapag may mga situations that are annoying, like yung absent, late, yung mga ganyan. So that's the hardest aspect.
Now, how do you make sure you hire the right people for your business? Is there like a trait or skill na hinahanap po ba nila sa isang tao, Sir Lance?
Yeah, kasi technical skills are very easy to teach. You can teach anyone how to make coffee. Pero yung character hindi mo maturo eh. So we're always looking for people with good character, someone who is self-motivated and may learning potential. So yun yung hinahanap namin. When I was starting with just one shop, pre-pandemic pa yun, I always have this parang boot camp phase na you go through a boot camp. Parang sa military, di ba? You go through a boot camp na sinasabi ko talaga, mahihirapan ka. Kasi kung hindi ka mahirapan, wala kang natutunan. So that also allows me to filter out people both with mentally and physically kasi it's a physically tiring job but also mental, like yung stress, yung pressure. So if you can't handle the heat, parang we can't work with you. Parang ganun. So that's how we filter out people.
Now, speaking of a team, it's important to manage them correctly. What values or system do you use to make sure that the team is motivated and performing at its best performance, po, sir?
So every quarter we have town halls. That's when we have alignment sessions and trying to help the team, perform better. But one of the things that we always remind them, two things. Well, our main goal is to put smiles in people's faces. Yun yung parang North Star nila. Forget everything, forget the manual. How do I make the person I interact with smile? That's the reason actually why we have stupid descriptions on our menu. Kasi pagbasa mo pa lang, papasmile ka na. So we've already achieved the goal. So yun yung KPI nila. How do I make people smile? The second thing would be there's a book called, I forgot the title, but it's by Tony Robbins. So there was a part there. He has an acronym, CAN-I. So it's continuous and never-ending improvement. Or actually very related dun sa Japanese concept of Kaizen. So we're all a work in progress. Even ako, I'm still continuously learning along the way. So I think that mindset is very important. No, also related or similar to Simon Sinek's what's that book called? Infinite Game. Na parang it's an infinite game basically. We're always going to be learning something new. That way, yung approach namin to things is not, there's no dead end. It's like, how do we continuously improve on? So those are a few things we try to establish with our work culture, our mindset.
Now, sir, syempre meron ka namang nasubukan na hindi pa ganun ka-successful or isn't successful or you would say na hindi mo recommended. Ano kaya yung mga what do you call this one? What are those things that let's say you wouldn't recommend or from your experience na hindi mo na uulitin ulit?
Okay, so one big mistake that I did pala. I don't want to name drop things, pero sa mga nakakita, alam niyo na yun. But there was one time, okay, so, you know how American companies, they roast different brands. You know what roasting means, diba? Yung parang nang gagatong or ang tawag doon? Ano bang Tagalog doon? Basta yun ang gagago ka with other brands. That's
Kumbaga, inaano
that's
sila.
very common actually in the States. You would see Wendy's roasting Burger King or McDonald's or parang nanglolokohan lang sila pero for fun. So I thought of applying that here. And ang nangyari was, so we had this event with a very high profile client. Obviously, I have to take pictures kasi mga artista to na talagang very known, like super sikat. So I took pictures and then I posted on Instagram with a caption that was roasting another brand. That actually worked in terms of clout, and it was super, like, less than 24 hours parang everyone was seeing it. Sobrang ganun kalakas. Unfortunately, it also backfired kasi nagalit yung artista because the caption was throwing shade on another brand. So parang she didn't get na I was roasting for fun, like just to make fun, but not really like to parang bash another brand. It was really just to make fun. Unfortunately, she didn't take that very well. So I had to take it down because kasi yung mga artista like these are very like, they have weird communities na talagang nakatutok sa kanila, tapos atakihin ka nila. Basta the internet is very wild. It can make or break you. So I think when applying social media tactics or marketing things, you have to be very careful, I guess, because we've never had such a high-profile client. Yeah, so that's one thing I would never repeat. That's a lesson learned as well. We resolved everything naman. We apologize. I also apologize to my team because, of course, it's not just me anymore. As I mentioned, it's like the Candid name embodies everyone involved. So I apologize rin to my team na it was very hindi pinag-isipan deeply or parang it hindi finilter out. So that also kind of backfired. But it was a good learning experience rin. A nice story to tell.
So guys, you heard it first from Sir Lance, di ba? It's wise, it's really wise to learn from others people's mistake para hindi nyo na po ulit-ulitin, di ba? So yeah, thank you Sir Lance for that experience, no, and for sharing that information to us. Now, kung si Tito Boy may tinatawag na fast talk, dito po sa Store Hub or dito with Behind the Counter, we have a game called Rapid Fire. So rapid fire questions, how this work is that we'll ask you a question and you have to answer the first thing that comes in your mind. Okay po ba yan, sir? Okay.
Sure.
Pour over or espresso?
Pour over.
Vietnamese latte or Spanish latte?
Filipino latte. De, joke lang. Vietnamese.
Latte. Alright. Vietnamese latte. Alright. Fruity or not?
Fruity.
Sa beans.
Fruity, yeah.
Matcha latte or horchata latte?
Horchata.
Oat milk or regular milk?
Regular milk.
Black Forest cake or Death Wish?
Black Forest.
Honey cereal or s'mores?
S'mores.
If you were a type of coffee, Sir Lance, what one would you be at bakit?
If I were a coffee, I would be an espresso. Because either you like it or you don't. But the fact is, you're essential and valuable. Because without the espresso, you won't have an Americano, a long black, a latte, a frap, whatever drink. So kahit na ayaw mo yun, kailangan pa rin. So I'm an espresso.
Now, ito naman po some questions that we would like to ask to you. Like, what are the one specific mistake that you made that became a valuable lesson for you and your business? Aside dun sa natin kanina, yung experience natin kanina.
I think learning to say no is a very crucial thing that you have, or crucial thing that I learned. Like, not every new opportunities is meant for you or is good. So learning to discern properly and not get overly excited with things, especially when it comes to money or investors or new projects. So you don't always dive into things just because it looks enticing. So yeah, that's one thing that I learned na kailangan mong mag-say no to certain things. So don't overcommit in things, no?
Alright. And what was the one thing you hate the most about running a business? Yung pinaka-stressful natin, sir.
Siguro, apart from paying tax, handling yung mga Karens or mga haters and mga annoying customers. Kasi you have to, and the disrespectful ones especially, yung mga entitled customers or Karens. So yun, that's the most stressful thing that I hate handling.
If you don't mind me asking, sir, ano na ba yung worst na na-encounter natin from a Karen situation?
Worst.
Yung tumatak sa'yo na yun, hindi mo na, sir, makakalimutan. Ito, may kukwento ko to sa family ko, sa future generation ko, sir.
I think There was one demanding us money for damages or whatever. And then thankfully, this year last year pa pala, we've onboarded a law firm na um, who handles our legal disputes. Kasi at a certain level, parang na-realize ko, I can't be the one doing this. Parang we need legal advice and sound judgment in order to handle these uh, difficult people. So, yeah, thankfully it was resolved. I think having a law team back you is costly, mahal siya kasi kuripot nga ako, pero I feel like it's a very important investment for any growing business that is continuously scaling.
Now, before we end today's show, I have a few last questions to wrap up. What does 2024 looks like for you and your business?
So this year we're really focused on the back end systems and the operations of the company. We're putting on hold our expansion and more on focusing and fine tuning our back end, specifically HR and finance, the less sexy stuff of the business, but the most crucial backbone of or infrastructure. No, so at the same time, I'm trying to also enjoy coffee kasi the past few years, when you're doing something you like, you have to set that aside and focus on how to make it sustainable. But now I'm slowly trying to enjoy it again, encouraging my team to compete more in coffee competitions. So making it more fun, building the company culture and the people, growing with them. So that's our focus this year.
And last question, sir, is that we want to allow you to ask one question for our next guest. And what would you like to ask them for that next episode, sir?
My question is if someone wanted to buy your company, would you sell it and how much would you want it for?
And that's it for today. Thank you very much, Sir Lance, for being an amazing guest with Behind the Counter. And we're really excited to see what's next for Candid Coffee.
All right, thanks Chester. Thanks for having me.